Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so our topic today is per the gentleman that contacted me, that I can interact with you, ladies and gentlemen, is media, life, and its encounters. I don't know if it is humanly possible from your side to probably have an introduction so that I have to know which people I'm dealing with and how many you are. Is that okay?
Yes, that's okay. I'm going to go first. My name is Siwale. I am the facilitator of this initiative. I was the individual who contacted you to give us your time. I want to say very big thank you to you.
Thank you.
I'm a very old man. I'll leave it at that. Let me go to the other students. They're going to introduce themselves. Yes, I'm a very old man. I celebrated my 72nd birthday yesterday. Wow. So I have a lot of gray hairs here, but I look young. Looks can be deceptive. And that happens because I go to the gym every day. I eat good fruit and I have a very clear heart and mind. But good to be here.
Okay.
Good to be here. Yes. And
okay.
Before the introduction start, the class captain said, we have with us Mr. Blackwell Siwale. And I said, that's not the name of the lecturer. And am I correct if I say your name is not Siwale? Am I correct?
You are correct. My name is Blackwell Siwale, spelled as S-I-W-A-L-E.
Brilliant. And Joy and the rest of the students, that's what I was expecting you guys to do. Names are not necessarily pronounced the way they are spelled. Blackwell Siwale, not Siwale. Yes. That's why when the class captain said Siwale, I said, no, that's not the name of the lecturer. Joy, I need you to unmute your mic for a second. Can you do that for me, Joy?
Yes, sir.
Brilliant. Did I tell you his name is not Siwale?
Yes, sir.
I was expecting that would be the first question you asked the lecturer, that the facilitator said, your name is not Siwale. What is your name, sir? But you didn't do that, but it's fine. Now you can start, introduce yourself and then let the rest of the class follow.
Good morning, Mr. Siwale.
Good morning, madam.
My name is Joy Pilot.
Okay.
I am from Akwa Ibom State, but I based in Port Harcourt, River State in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're the class captain for today, I suppose?
Yes, I am the class captain for today. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, brilliant. Now let's do this as quickly as possible so we can get the lectures underway. Olisa, you got 10 seconds. Do your introduction and then we go to the next person.
Okay, and good morning, Mr. Siwale.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Siwale. I'm one of the students in this next media program. Thank you.
Nice to interact with you.
True. Okay, it's true. I can see from Olisa's voice. It's actually very ill. Maybe I'm lucky. It never shows in my voice. Adejumo, go ahead, please.
Good morning, sir. My name is Adejumo Adekule. I'm one of the students for this morning class. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. I can see Adela. Adela, please speak to the lecturer. Okay, Adela is not ready. And Nicola, speak to the lecturer, please.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And Nicola. Nice. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chibueze, talk to the lecturer. Okay, Chibueze is not ready. Osinachi, speak to the lecturer. Okay, Osinachi, don't worry, you can mute your mic. You have issues with, don't worry. Osinachi, you're sounding like a ghost that I saw in my dream last night. I don't want to have more nightmares. It's okay now, off your mic. It's okay, off your mic. Osinachi, don't worry, okay? Your mic. Okay, see, if your mic is not good, you can signify through the chat icon so we don't waste time on that. Osinachi, we know you're in the house. Good to hear from you, but your network is not too good. Dan Monday, Dan, speak to the lecturer. Okay, Dan is not ready for us. Emeka Tonye, if you are, can unmute your mic and say hi. It's not ready as well.
Hello,
okay,
I just did that. My name is Olisa Emeka Tonye.
Okay, brilliant. We didn't hear you initially because you didn't unmute your mic. Before you say hi, you unmute your mic. How do you unmute your mic? You look at the left-hand side of your screen, bottom left-hand side as a microphone, you touch it and then it's unmuted, and you touch it, it becomes muted again. Treasure,
Okay, thank you,
Udide,
sir.
you can hear me, say hi.
Good morning, Mr. Siwale. Good to have you here.
Pleasure is mine.
Treasure, you have a beautiful voice. The next time I'm going on radio, you're going to join me. Wonderful voice you have. Let's hear from Vincent Dimon. Is that Diamond or Dimon? I'm guessing it's Dimon. Vincent, if you can hear me, do the correction so I learn.
Thank you, Ogasami. It's actually Diamond.
Diamond.
Vincent Diamond.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will not die quick. Diamond. Okay.
You would die quick.
Amen. Hallelujah. Glory to God. Okay.
Right, good morning,
Said
Mr. Siwale.
Olainka.
Good morning, Diamond.
Said Olainka. Báwo ni sir? Okay, Said cannot hear me. Sam Victor Joseph.
Good morning, Mr. Siwale.
Good morning, Joseph.
Yes, my name is Joseph Sam Victor, and I'm one of the students for this morning's class.
Good.
Kelvin Wilson. Kelvin, if you can hear me, take it away.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Kelvin, and I am one of your students for this class.
Good to have you.
Thank you, sir.
Morrison Victoria.
Good morning, sir. I'm Morrison Victoria, and it's an honor having you here today. I'm one of the students for this class.
Likewise.
Irodinjo Joseph. I don't think I got that name right. Correct me. I hate murdering names. Irodinjo. Please correct me. I failed you.
Augustine, good morning.
Good morning.
It's Irodinjo. Good morning, Mr. Blackwell, Siwale. I'm glad having you here. I am Justice, and I'm a student of the next Middle Star Season 6. Thank you.
Olubumi Nasiru, if you tell me your phone is freezing, there will be problem. Talk to me, Olubumi.
Good morning, Mr. Siwale.
Good
Sorry,
morning,
I'm in
madam.
transit. It's great to have you here. My name is Olubumi Nasiru.
Pleasure is mine.
Olubumi is going to Osun State. We'll meet you in Osun State. Please, if I haven't mentioned your name, you can just unmute your mic, say hi to the lecturer, and then we get the session on the way. If I haven't mentioned your name, the floor is yours. Unmute your mic. Let's see if we can do this in 30 seconds, and then we get the class started.
Good morning, Mr. Siwale. My name is Kenneth West. It's a privilege to learn from you this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Siwale. My name is Abiaziem Olisa, and not Olisa America Tony. My name is Abiaziem Olisa, the real Olisa. It's a pleasure to have you lecture us today.
Likewise.
Good morning, Mr. Blackwell. I'm Fortune Best Man. I'm happy to get here today.
Likewise.
Morning, Mr. Siwale. Morning, Mr. Siwale. My name is Gospel in I'm glad to have you. I'm a student of next. Thank you.
Is our class captain there? Is our class captain there?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm here.
Class captain, please, there should never be a law. Never, not even for 2 seconds. Whenever the lecturer is not talking, you coordinate alongside the host. Make sure that the class is always quiet. Everybody mute his or her mic. You can work or coordinate with the host of the meeting and ensure that the lecturer is comfortable. Can we start now, class captain?
Yes, sir.
You can let the lecturer know we can start, and then we start. Thank you. Joy.
Okay. Mr. Siwale, we are set for the class now.
Thank you so much, Joy, and everybody who is a participant in this session. And I'm glad that we've done with your introductions, and yeah, I think we all set to go. Sam was boasting a while ago about his young-looking body. I want to join him. I'm actually 58 years of age. I do the gym every day religiously. I wake up at 03. By 04, I'm on a treadmill, and in 30 minutes, I go to start lifting weights just to keep fit. Not to be a world champion, but just to keep a health lifestyle, exercising, eating good food that is healthy, that is. And I think I thought I should talk about that, and then so that we can all lead a good a health life, so that we live longer. I think that's the way to go as at now, because some of these diseases like diabetes.
Mr. Siwale, I'm sorry to interject. I just got a message from my wife, a private message from her. She's actually in this meeting right now, and she says she wants to connect the next flight to Lusaka to be your wife. She says she wants people who go to the gym and lift weights. Mr. Siwale, I will call my lawyer and I'll deal with you.
But why would she leave you when you also live the same life?
How dare you take my wife from me? I'll deal with you, Mr. Siwale. Mr. Siwale, you can go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. And aside from just going to the gym, I also play, we're all familiar, I'm sure, with a sport called squash. I play twice in a week. So yeah, my exercise regime is quite robust. I do that every day. And then yeah, eating health food just to make sure that we live longer. And I would encourage you, I would urge you to do the same. You lose nothing. In fact, if anything, you prolong your life. I thought I should also share that with you guys. Our topic today is clear, it's the media. And I'm sure, unless I'm wrong, that most of you are actually practitioners, or if you are not, then you are involved in one way or the other. If you're a football administrator, if you're a politician, there's no way you can operate in an environment where there's no media, because the media is what is going to expose what you're doing in a negative and in a positive way. Okay, so the life of the media is one where it's a double-edged sword for people that are in the limelight, politicians and the football administrators alike. A journalist is a person that is liked. A journalist is the person that can be hated. A journalist is the person who anybody may not even want to associate with. Why? Because there are things that you are going to expose. There are things that you are going to write, which would be unpalatable to some people, which will be palatable to others. So you will be liked by this one, but you will not be liked by the other. So this life encounters is one where, as a journalist, you have to live a life of high integrity, because the society has its own opinion about individuals. Society might have its opinion about a situation, and when the media reports the opposite of what society knows, you become the enemy of society. That's the more reason that there's some feedback, there's some noise feedback. I don't know if everybody's getting it.
You want the justice, please mute your mic.
Are we all together now?
Yes, we are. Please go ahead, sir.
There's just quite some strong feedback that is coming back. Yeah, so like I was saying, class captain Sami, and to the audience in general, the media people, media personnel must live a life of very high integrity and transparency. You must report exactly as perceived by society. If you don't, and society has the evidence of what is being reported, and you report the opposite of what you feel should be reported, then you'll be seen as being a corrupt person. Remember that the media is summarized in 3 ways. It's to inform, educate, and entertain. Particularly on the information part, is where you must always strive to give factual information, because then you are building society. In building society, society is comprised of diverse people. Okay, there's the young, there's the middle-aged, there's the old. Or it's you to inform them of a particular situation, so that anybody who has got anything which is negative regarding that particular situation are all informed and understand what it is that is going on in that particular area or environment. That's the role of the media. So the catchword is integrity. You must live a corrupt-free life. You must not be swayed by, because you like Blackwell Siwale and therefore whatever you write must be good. No. Personally, I like someone who's going to criticize me. Positive criticism is one which builds the nation and builds individuals. If you always want someone to like you and say good things about you, then you are destroying yourself, because once the truth comes out of who you are, which has been hidden by the media, has not been exposed, your downfall is immediate. And that's not what people want in life. Generally, I would like the media practitioners to report factually of what is happening and inform everybody else who is involved in receiving this information, so that you are not left behind, and the person who is reporting will be definitely held in the high esteem as having informed the people appropriately. Are we together? Hello?
Yes, we're together.
We are
You may not,
together.
Mr. Siwale, you may not get instant feedback from everybody because their mics are muted, so we don't get that terrible feedback you got earlier. But you can be rest assured that everybody is following and we can hear you in real time. But class captain, if you're in the quiet place, you can unmute, so you can always communicate with the lecturer in real time. Mr. Siwale, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Any questions so far?
No questions.
No questions from our lobby. Anybody with a question?
No questions, sir.
Okay. So I'll now zero down to the Zambian situation. Okay. In Zambia, particularly in our football, journalists have taken entrenched positions where they feel they should support one camp and report good things about that particular camp. Okay, and once you take such kind of a stance, you're actually destroying the sport. If I'm president of the Athletic Association today, I do something wrong, the nation must be informed, so that if time comes, and of course, it's uncharacteristic in Africa for someone to resign having done something wrong in an organization. So the only way is to probably subject me to an election after having reported the wrong I've done, without fear or favor. Then the voters can actually vote me out of the office. Because like I said, I will repeat, in Africa, it's very uncharacteristic for an administrator of whatever position, be it national politics, sports in general, to take a back seat and say, I'm wrong, gentlemen, this is not my area alone, it's a national issue. Can someone take over the mantle and push this agenda forward? So it's your duty of the media to inform without fear or favor the general citizenry of a particular nation, so that a particular issue is sorted out. So in Zambia, I said earlier, we've got 2 groups. We have journalists that are reporting positively for a particular organization, and we have those that are also perceived to be reporting a wrong, but they're reporting a correct position, but they are seen to be reporting a wrong because they have said something which is unpalatable to the powers that be. That is why the media is one industry that has to be looked after very well, so that they're not, because the duty of media, of any media personnel, or any media practitioner, is one where I will repeat, you will never be liked. You report something good about me, I will like you. Report something bad about me, I will like you. So you must strive as individuals, as groups, as organizations to report that which you feel is the correct position in an environment. Any questions?
Does anybody have any question? If you have any question, you can signify by raising your hand in the icon. If you have any question, just signify. I can't see any question, right? Okay. Adejumo Adekunle, let's hear your question, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much thus far. So while you were starting off on this lecture, you made mention of the fact that journalists must live a life of high integrity and they must report stories as society perceived it. But very quickly, sometimes it appears what the society perceive necessarily is not the dimension the story had taken. What about in such cases where the journalist had reported not actually contrary to the fact, but not suiting to what the general public perceive? How do people go about such? Because there's more to meet the eyes sometimes in certain developing stories. Thank you, sir.
Any more question? Is that the only one? Class captain?
No question, sir. No more.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your question.
Okay, sir. There's
right?
another question. There's another question here.
Okay.
Treasure, did you unmute your mic? Let's hear you.
Okay, so in a situation where one is affected negatively by being truthful and having integrity, what should we do as journalists? For example, one is painted as being Black when one is actually doing the right thing, is giving the right news. For example, I did a little research on about you, and I discovered that you possibly had some issues with the football association of your country. I suppose it's because you are truthful to the core. So how would one handle such situations if at all they pop up? Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for your questions. Is there any other? I can see a hand. Or is that for treasure?
Yeah. Asalemi Owolobi, let's hear you. Let's hear you, Asalemi Owolobi. Unmute your mic.
Okay, thank you. It is said that who pays the piper, it takes its tune. And we've been taught that a journalist ought to live a life of integrity. Is this, how does this two marry? That's my question, sir.
I never got your question. You were mute.
It is said that he who pays the piper detects his tune.
Yeah.
And then that a journalist, we've been taught this morning, ought to live a life of integrity.
Mm-hmm.
So when reporting a story, knowing that the piper detects his tune, how can that bring out the integrity of the journalist so that his reportage is correct and he keeps his integrity? That's my question.
Thank you. Another question?
Yes, sir. There's another question here. Maurice and Victoria, please, let's hear you.
Okay, sir, you said we should strive as an organization or as a journalist, we should strive to give the reports that we think feels good to the society. In a case where the journalists sees a bad situation and thinks that's a good one for the society, and that report can eventually cause chaos in the society, is it right for the journalist to report it as it is? That's my question, sir.
I've understood your question. Thank you very much. Are we done? We have got 4 questions.
Yes, sir, that's all for now.
Okay. I'll begin with the first participant. Is asking about society versus the truth, which is almost the same thing as the one for Morrison. So these two are related, actually. Society has got its own judgment on matters. But you see, we are in the 21st century, and the 21st century, everybody is informed in one way or the other. There are times when a journalist is putting out a report of an issue which people are already aware of. Okay, so you can't be at variance, because even you as a journalist, by the time you are receiving some information, you would have received this information in a different form from a WhatsApp group or Twitter or whatever form of communication that you are involved in. And by the time you are interviewing whoever is involved, you can easily balance that information before it's disseminated to society. Yes, society will have their own perception, but then it is more so, it also actually depends on the kind of political situation that you're operating in. If it is national politics, then there's a problem. If it is with the government of the day, if there's a clampdown on journalism or what you should say or what you should not say, it becomes a problem. But if it's a free society where you are allowed to express yourselves or yourself in informing the public, in informing the general citizenry, then you cannot fear anything. We have heard of journalists dying for having reported the truth. That is why earlier in my submissions to you, I said, your job is a very dangerous one, but a very noble one, because the society depends on you. So what you tell society must be the truth, nothing but the truth. The repercussions of lying or not telling the truth or not reporting the truth is death to could be many people, could be yourself, could be maybe the entire nation going into flames. That's why as a journalist, you must make sure that, yes, I would repeat the same word, you must live with a life of integrity, which is corruption free. You must lead a life where you are going to disseminate information that is factual. You report something today about me, people will question you because probably society has a different version. You make a follow-up from the report today, maybe a week or two later, you say, as we said the other day, this is again what has happened and the truth is this, and society will definitely agree with you, though they might have had a different version. And then in your reporting, you must be persuasive, because you are merely disseminating information that has been done by somebody, it's not you. So you must persuade your readers, you might persuade your audience to understand your point, to understand where you are coming from, so that they follow you and understand the situation which you are involved in. I think that's about society versus the truth. Treasurer mentioned about having done a research when she was told, I'm sure that he was told, he or she, I don't know, I can't remember correctly, that I had done issues with my association. Yes, in fact, I still have those issues with my association for having stood for the truth. I've got a very strong character, and sometimes I'm not liked because I don't want to say no when I'm supposed to say yes, or I don't want to say yes when I'm supposed to say no. My life is where I believe in telling the truth, no matter how much it hurts you. But when I tell you the truth, you go back wherever you're going, you sit down, you introspect and say, yeah, Blackwell told me the truth, and this is what we're supposed to do, and life must supposed to be done in this manner. So yes, I have issues with those guys. Much of what was reported was skewed to the person who is in office today. But when you sit down and or do an investigation, you find that actually what was reported had nothing to do with what was reported. There was no evidence at all. And that's why we walk the country streets with a very high mind, free, without any interrogation from state police or state agencies, nothing. So I still have those issues with the association because I believe in telling the truth. And when I criticize over something that you haven't done because you promised to do it, you can't see me as an enemy. See me as a person who loves you. If you promise to build me a house and you don't do it, and I remind you of your promise, you can't hate me for having reminded you because you're the one who promised. I didn't come to you requesting for the house. You did it voluntarily. That's how life is supposed to be. Have I left out anything? Class captain, have I left anything? Are all the questions answered to your satisfaction?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, Joy.
Yes, sir. You've answered all the questions. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Can we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir. We can proceed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so in general, the national politics dictate how you people are going to operate. The political situation in Zambia is definitely different from the one in Nigeria, from one in Ghana, from another in South Africa, from another one in Namibia, or Botswana, or Zimbabwe. So we've heard or seen journalists fleeing their own countries because they have reported something that the government of the day did not like. But the question is, were they lying? Or was she lying? Or was he lying? He has told the truth. So again, it comes to you as a journalist versus society. And society is in two forms. One, the political society and the general citizen of the nation. The general citizen of the nation would love what you have reported. The political leadership will be against it. And therefore they'll be after your life. So it's up to you as a journalist to balance and report, looking at take into consideration the totality of the evidence on the situation. How is the situation in the country politically? Is it volatile? Are people suffering? If I told them this, will they rise against the government? You must balance and look at the situation in a manner where when you report something which is factual, yes, some people may be injured, but are you being fair to the society or the recipients of the information? The answer is yes, and therefore go ahead. So your role as media, your role to inform the general citizen of the nation is quite cardinal in the national development, and though dangerous, because not everybody is going to like you. This is something I said in my preamble. You write something good about me, I'll like you. If something negative bad about me, I will not like you. It's up to you. The good of society and you as an individual. Any more questions?
No questions, sir. So there is no questions.
Okay. Joy?
Sir.
I think that's
Okay,
about
then.
all that's about all I had to share with you. Yeah.
So there is a question here.
Okay.
Olisa, please, can we hear you?
Okay. Good morning, sir. I want to ask just a quick question. You and you and Mr. Damiano Mutale and Kelvin Chipili, and Mr. Kelvin Chipili were banned by the Zambian Football Association of Zambia due to the fact that they say you acquire illegal documents. But that's what it is from the surface. But from underneath, we know that you guys were trying to find the truth, and you guys were banned. So is it what does this show to younger journalists who are seeking to find the truth? Is it that the bad will always win over the good, that there's no way they can get the truth? That's what I want to ask.
Okay. Gospel, can we hear you?
Okay, thank you very much. So please, my question goes this way. You've let us know that there are dangers in trying to pursue the truth in some aspect. And I wanted to ask her, because the society will always ask questions, and since it is our place as media personnel to inform, educate, and entertain, to always pursue the narratives of the people as well. So how can someone put forward a truthful information without raising eyebrow of the government and every other individual that is powerful or trying to manipulate the media, sir? How can someone tell truth directly or indirectly without raising the dust, without endangering his life? Thank you very much, sir.
Okay. Justice, please unmute your mic and let's hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Justice. Sir, where you were speaking, you made mention of the polity of the day influencing journalism. That is, the politics played in the country influences journalism. Now, I want to really ask, because that is in the real sense. Now, journalism for me should be an independent affair whereby people don't influence it. Okay, so because I feel is wrong for some of these politicians directing journalists, telling them this is what you should put out for the public to consume. Now, that is a problem for me. Now, my question is, how do we correct this? How do we make journalism be alone, be a different body and not being influenced by these politicians, sir? Thank you.
Adekunle, let's hear you. Adejumo Adekunle, please unmute your mic. Let's hear your question.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, sir, we have been talking about, I must say, you led the conversation so far very interesting as concerning the topic of media, life, and its encounter. So we've been talking about journalism and how journalists' practices and ethics will affect the society one way or the other. Let's look at it now from an international scale. The late Jamal Khashoggi, who was the Saudi and a writer for Washington Post, who was sometime killed, I think that was about 3 years ago. To date, that issue has remained unsolved. And sometimes a journalist might say, oh, they are writing, but they don't even know who their perceived enemies will be. So for some journalists who are privileged to write in such a manner that their coverage is an international, bears an international blanket, how would they be able to circumvent some of the difficulties that is attached to getting on the nerves of certain government? Because if we move around the globe, we discover that from different countries to another, they have different laws that guide how they operate. And sometimes it might be really difficult for a journalist to, move in between some of these laws and legislations. Thank you.
All right. Kenneth West. Kenneth West, please, let's hear you.
Okay, thank you, sir. I want to ask, talking about living the life of integrity, as you said, by journalists, sir, I want to know, what role do the brown envelope play as for a journalist to live the life of integrity? Thank you, sir.
Kenneth, do you want to take brown envelope? Kenneth, if you want, tell me, let me know what. Do you want to take brown envelope, Kenneth? Okay. Let's hear what Mr. Siwale thinks.
Mr. Siwale, that's all the questions we have for now. Thank you.
Mr. Siwale, can you hear us?
Hello, sir.
His mic is muted. So what you do as a class captain, you have his phone number. You communicate with him privately.
Hello,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, welcome back.
Okay, thank you. I was saying, yes, there were summons against the Football Association of Zambia. Those were drawn by Mr. Damiano Mutale and Mr. Lusaka. I wasn't fully involved because my name was not on the affidavit. But yes, I was a participant and I was an aggrieved party in that regard. That said, the story, I'll make it brief. The association of the Football Association of Zambia was hosting, the country rather, was hosting an under-20 African Cup of Nations tournament in Lusaka. The Football Association of Zambia decided to share huge sums of money among themselves, okay? And that drew eyebrows. I'll be honest with you, I don't know, even as I speak to you now, I don't know how that information came to the general public. And the newspapers reported about the same. All the print media in Zambia reported about the same. And I happened to be banned for the same reason, where I was accused that I was actually circulating illegally obtained documents. I was never invited for a meeting. I was never given a chance to exculpate myself. Nothing. I just received a letter that you've been banned for circulating illegally obtained documents. Now, there's some feedback. I don't know where it's from. Where, gentlemen, could you please mute your mic so that we understand each other? Hello? Are we all here?
Yes, sir.
Joy?
We are here, sir. We are listening.
Okay. So, those documents were initially reported by the print media in Zambia, and the copies were actually shared among people in the country. My transgression against the Football Association of Zambia was to share the same documents at the international group where I'm sure with Sami is also there as well. And that is what drew the wrath of the association to illegally ban me. So as a journalist, were they wrong to report about such? The answer is no. Was there a better way of how the association could have shared the allowances and report to the nation about the allowances? The answer is yes. So when you do things in secrecy, yes, there will be a problem. The best we can do is that we should stick to regulations, which our association did not. That's why they were aggrieved, because they knew they had something wrong, because any allowance in our country is actually governed by statutes. Whether you are going out of the country, the allowance is stipulated. Whether it's within the country, the allowances are stipulated. But they went beyond the normal stipulation. And that's what angered them. And when the report was done, yes, I escalated the reporting because I was sharing with people to discuss it and see how this matter can be resolved. But the association got upset and they illegally and unilaterally banned me. So I have no regrets because I was seeking justice. I don't have a problem in discussing the matter with anybody at whatever level, locally, internationally, privately. I'm at liberty to discuss this matter. That was wrong to ban me because I had discussed something which had been done in a wrong way. If anything, the association should have instead worked on the mistakes they had made and say, yes, we apologize. Or if it means reimbursing the association the money they had gotten, what was over and above the normal, they should have done so. I think that's how this is supposed to be handled. So Mr. Damiano Mutale had gone to court seeking justice because that was now a matter where the association did not want other candidates to participate in the elections by looking at the flimsy grounds. Anybody who had a forced relationship with the association, you are not allowed to contest elections. So this is what we're saying is wrong. As the media in Zambia, they are so compromised that they can't even report such kind of things. Let me get back to show you a good example of what is happening in terms of. You are all aware about the lady player in our captain called Barbara Banda. Are you all aware about her? Ladies and gentlemen, are you aware about Barbara Banda?
No.
No, sir.
She's a captain of our women national team.
Oh.
Yes, but during the Morocco, you know her, you've heard about her rather.
Yes, sir.
During the tournament in Morocco that South Africa won, she was not eligible to participate. Now, how did she become eligible? The association claimed to have done an eligibility test that barred Barbara from participating. But Barbara was not the only one with high testosterone levels. We've got 3 girls in Zambia. We've got Rachel Nachula, Rachel Kundananji, and Barbara Banda. Now, Barbara was to be taken to Spain for trials at Real Madrid. Instead of leaving her behind, the association decided to go with her to Spain, to Morocco rather. Now, when everybody, the journalists, realized that Barbara was available in Morocco, but not a participant in the tournament, so they queried, well, how can it be that you have your captain of the team, the person who's supposed to be leading the team to victory, is not playing, but she's available here. Instead of confronting the problem and addressing it in a nice manner, the association chose to lie. Okay, and why did they lie? I wouldn't understand. Here's how we discovered that they lied. Barbara Banda was not on the final list that was submitted to CAF for participants in the tournament. When a journalist from Nigeria, I think it's Celeste, all of you know Celeste, don't you? She asked a question, why Barbara is not participating? CAF at a media briefing said the medical committee did not render a report to the association, CAF Confederation, for them to know why she was not participating. Now, the Zambian Federation did not submit her name. How did they expect CAF to give an answer on somebody who is not on the list of participants? That's lie number 1. Number 2, the Federation in Zambia accused CAF of having been the one that orchestrated the banning of Barbara not to participate in the tournament. But we all know that the eligibility test was subjected to a vote in a Congress in 2017, and the 54-member associations voted for it, and it was passed unanimously. Now, when it comes to bite you, then you cry foul. That is hypocrisy, okay? We were expecting the association to engage CAF before the beginning of the tournament so that if there were any issues that they should have been resolved before the beginning of the tournament. They never did. Barbara, everybody claimed, was not claiming rather, everybody was very upset that Barbara could have played in the Olympics. Barbara plays in China. Barbara plays in any other tournament, but she can't play at the Women African Confederation Cup. It was baffling, but the association did not do a good job. Now, why I'm giving you this example, whilst this tournament was going on, we had journalists from Zambia. Okay, Zambians rose up and wanted information, but the journalists in Morocco never reported exactly like I'm telling you now, that the lady Barbara was not on the final list of people that were selected to participate in the tournament. How they expected the CAF to grant Barbara the right to participate, I don't understand. And the journalists in Morocco, Zambian ones for that matter, they never told the nation anything regarding the matter of how FAD had failed to resolve the issue of Barbara. Instead, they chose to side with the Football Association of Zambia for whatever reason. I want to believe it's what West was talking about, the issue of the brown envelope or any other freebies. How else can you fail to inform the nation of what is happening if there was no brown envelope or if there were no freebies that we're expecting from the association? It's the role of the media to inform the nation. So we are the void here. We have journalists in Morocco. People want information in Zambia. No one reported, but they were with the association in Morocco. Instead of asking them and asking CAF officials, everybody was mute. And that's where now we as the general citizenry want to say journalists must live with high integrity and report matters as they surface without fear or favor. So on that score of the Barbara Banda, the Zambian journalists failed the nation. That's the example to give. Justice is talking about journalists being human beings. Yes, they are. How can they protect themselves from reporting that which is not be seen as unpalatable to the government of the day? Justice, I would urge you to regroup if you haven't grouped in Nigeria or wherever you are. Push for media reforms in your country or countries. Let this be enshrined in the constitution that your rights to reporting on a particular matter are protected and that no one will kill you and no one will take you to court or no one will have you fined for having reported something which is unpalatable to the government of the day. Only the constitution of a particular nation, once that law is enshrined in it, will protect you. I think that's the advice I would give. Otherwise, you are at the mercy of the politician and the government of the day. Yeah, but once these issues are put in the constitution, then you are protected. So you group push for media reforms. Let them be enshrined in the constitution. Then you'll be protected and you'll be reporting as the situation as it is without fear or favor. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Joy, Sammy.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Someone still had a question.
Yeah, no problem. You can ask.
Okay. Adekunle, can we hear you?
Yes, sir. So thank you very much for the insight you've given thus far. You made mention of pushing for media reforms lastly before you left, but we know that even with classical examples like the United States, where we have something close to an excellent or immaculate media, so to speak, there are still some of these lacunas where the journalists are having some sort of fears and apprehension towards reporting. I must say that when it comes to the area of the sporting world and some other areas, there's no much competition and vile towards journalism, but when it comes to politics, it's very pronounced. Now, do you think that pushing for media reforms by individuals and some other persons might necessarily bring about the change? Because we saw what the result of the FOI bill brought to today. Some journalists struggle to draw out certain information from media, from government agency. So would that in any way go the mile? Thank you.
Thank you, Adekule. The problem we have among yourselves is that not all of you are journalists, okay? Not all of you are journalists. What do I mean? Some of you have found yourselves practicing journalism because you want to put food on the table. And there are those journalists that are passionate about the job. They are born to do it and they love it. Okay, so a journalist who is born with passion to be a journalist, not because he wants to have a job and put food on the table, he or she will go out of her way to report the truth without fear or favor. A journalist that is doing a job because it probably is passing by or through to another job will not be as fearless as one with a passion. Okay? So those with a passion are those that we see that they don't fear anything. They will confront the president and ask searching questions. There are those who are doing a job just because he's doing a job, he needs a job, who are going to shy away from asking searching questions. So you, like I said, again, you need to regroup and talk about fear and talk about integrity openly and instill a sense of belonging to the organization or the media organization and say, we can only achieve what we want to achieve when we are united. If you're not united, if you're reporting as individually, the brown envelopes will creep in, freebies will creep in, and that will be a problem, and the nation or nations will remain uninformed or informed in a negative way. Thank you very much.
Okay. Well, Lisa, please, let's hear you. I think this is the last question we have today.
Thank you, Mr. Siwale. Has been a very, very wonderful lecture. So I want to go back to a quote you made on July 2020. I think it was when they alleged you for stealing 150,000 Zambian kwashis. You said, when a crime is allegedly committed as that of stealing money, you just end at banning and expelling an individual. Why haven't they taken me to court 4 years down the line? I have been pleading and on record that anyone who has information that I stole money to take me to court. But 4 years down the line, I have not appeared anywhere for questioning from any police station. So why is the issue coming up now? So I want to ask, is it advisable to know when you are in the right, advisable to call out these people to actually like put me to the sword, like if they have the evidence to actually put me to the sword, because we know what they can do. They can actually fabricate issues to implicate somebody and actually lock the person up. So I just want to ask whether if it's advisable for up and coming journalists to like do like what you just to be brave and come out like us to tell them, hey, put me to the sword.
Thank you. Yeah, look, firstly, if one is accused of stealing money from an organization, other than abrogating the procedures and the laws of that particular organization, there's a criminal element in it, okay? The organization may fire you based on their evidence, but it shouldn't end there. It should end at where one is dragged before the courts of law, tried, set free, or found guilty. A jail sentence or whatever sentence which is appropriate is prescribed. And this is the reason I said, and I still say even now, that if anybody who has the truth of the missing money, which was $15,000 then, of having been taken by me and my colleague, please, even now, I've always challenged them, even now, take me to court. But we all know that the money issue was just a by the way thing. The current president of the association wanted to have a free way of operating because he saw me as a strong voice. He saw me as a person who would not just agree to anything that he wants to do. Because I know football, I've been in football for almost the entire life. And therefore, I couldn't agree to what he was doing that was wrong. So the best way to do it was to galvanize people, rise against me, bribe some, which is normal, a brown envelope, and have me taken out of the association. And that's what happened. And I challenged them further and said, the people that released the money, you're at liberty without my involvement to go back to them and go and ask how much money was released, and which they did. And the answer was given that the money which was rendered to yourselves was the one which was actually released by us. And by the way, I actually was not the one who even got the money. My duty was to simply drive the car, my car, to a particular location, get the money and bring it to the association. I never participated in the counting, in the loading, no, my duty was just locomotion from one point to the other. That's why I've always said, let's go to court. You can bring your CCTVs from where the money was being released. You can take another CCTV from where the money was being handed and show the court my involvement. Nobody has ever come forth. And they will never, because they know the truth. They will never. FIFA statutes and CAF demand that you cannot take the association to court. That's why I didn't go to court. But there's a criminal element, I'm repeating. Why not follow the laws of the land and pursue the criminal element and have me arrested? So we leave the football matter. Let's go to a criminal element. And even as at now, anybody who can ask the association to do it, I'm ready to appear before the courts of law. The journalist must report, should actually go back to the association and say, hey, Blackwell is still roaming the streets freely. Why? You people claim he stole money. Why haven't he reported him to the national prosecution or the police to investigate the matter and prosecute him? They are quiet. Why? They're supposed to be asking these questions. They're supposed to be probing, even coming to me and say, oh, hey, what has happened between now and the time you were allegedly involved in the money, the missing money? Has anything happened? I would say nothing has happened. Go back to FAS and the Federation and ask them what they're doing about it. Because there's no way, of course, I mean, if money has been stolen, for example, are you going to report in the books of accounts that money was stolen by Blackwell Siwale? And then how do you treat it? Is it a debt? Is it stolen? If it is stolen, how would the accountants treat it in the books of accounts? There must be closure. And that closure has not been done yet. So I'm actually looking forward to its logical conclusion. And please, anybody here who has a number for the association in Zambia is free to call them and ask them these questions so that this matter can be closed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Joy.
Owolobi, please, can you all turn off your mic? Please turn off your mic, Owolobi. That we still have one question left.
Yeah.
Anne Nicholas, please, can we hear you?
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Please, I want you to share your experience with us. Among all the challenges you have gotten as a journalist, have you ever gotten a life-threatening challenge before in the quest of keeping integrity? Thank you.
You mean me as a person or yourself?
Yes, you as a person.
With regard to integrity?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Please, how did you manage it? Can you tell us?
It's not easy though, particularly, look, I'm from a humble background, okay, where to be where I am today and be able to speak to you people, I thank God, okay. So I was working for the Zambian mines in the buying department at one time, and there was a huge tender that was to be given to a bidder who had met all the requirements. But because of the amount involved, I think in those days, I think it was about $2 million to $3 million. And everybody was was interested, and I was the one in charge to make a final decision. So yes, I was approached by two companies, who were willing to give me $500,000, and I turned it down and kept my integrity. And when they lost the bid, they tried to make noise like I probably had gotten more from the people that won the tender. And I ended up exposing them to my boss. I said, no, these guys had come to me trying to bribe me, and I refused. And this guy has won the tender on merit. And yes, I've faced integrity challenges in that manner when I was a purchasing officer in the Zambia Consolidated Copper Mines on the Copper Belt. I have. But it's not easy.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not easy.
Okay. Are you true?
Yes, I am true. I am true.
Okay. I truly appreciate you and your time spent in teaching us about the media life and its encounter. We really appreciate every minute of your lecture, and we say thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Looking forward to another participation in future.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You have a wonderful day, sir.
You too. Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely day.
Thank you, sir.
Class captain, are you there?
Hello, everyone. My name is Cinema Basi Gospel. I think our class is done for today, and the class captain have actually left us, and our Oga Sami also had left us. So please, I think we know when our next class is coming up by 2 p.m. So let's get ourselves ready. If your phones are not charged, please charge it. And if your data is running low, check on it and so you can top up and wait for another exciting.
The next class is at 4 p.m. now, not 2 p.m.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was yesterday. Sorry.
Yeah.
So let's just get ourselves ready for that. Thank you very much.
Right. I have to
Okay,
go
guys,
and
thank
charge
you.
my phone now. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.